Hello out there, beautiful people, and welcome to your Daily Focus Trove for Saturday the 25th. We have a very interesting spread here. So to start off, we have number 7, the Oak. And for a clarifier, number 2, the High Priestess. So the Oak, many people think of it as like the small acorn becomes the mighty oak. That's what a lot of people think of. And the oak indeed is about perseverance, but it's also about breaking free from structures that are trapping you, releasing false ideas, false sense of self. And with this high priestess, with this inner knowing, with this combined moon and sun, and the stars covering her throat chakra, she has the book of knowledge, the book of time. And she's talking about hidden knowledge. So the hidden knowledge can sometimes be about your own self, about false beliefs that you have. And the oak is talking about releasing those false beliefs, whether they're about you, they're about other people, they're about your environment, like your ability to do certain things, or, like we talked about, I think it was yesterday or Friday, the coulda, woulda, shouldas, releasing those. So the oak is talking about that and using your strength to take on this work, this shadow self work, this dealing with these false beliefs, these false personas even. Then we have Hawthorne. And Hawthorne is talking about letting go of what no longer serves you. So, like I said, this is a very together reading. It's very nuanced. It's very, it's kind of also slamming home the point to let go of things. Let go of what no longer serves you. You're in preparation. This card is Mother Time. She is everything in her own time, everything in due course, and it will happen, whether the time is right now or the time is in the future. It's going to happen. For clarifiers, we have the Page of Cups, the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Queen of Cups. So a lot about, your soul, your spirituality, your growth in that aspect, but also your growth as a person, like mentally and emotionally. So it's really hammering home that you're in this preparation time, that you're looking forward at what you can do. You're not looking at what you did or what you don't have. This page, the messenger, with her fish in her cup. The fish, life evolved, and at one point, fish took steps onto the land, out of the water, onto the land, and you're evolving also. Perhaps, last week you might have been looking at this Five of Cups, and you might have been, crying over the spilled milk, over the spilled emotions, and ignoring the two behind you. But not anymore. Now you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it like, well, maybe that spilled milk made me stronger. Maybe it changed my life for the better. It might have gotten you out of a situation that was something you were doing just to do, but maybe it wasn't going to be a good situation for you long term. And now you're headed towards what's going to be a good situation for you long term. the queen actually has this one big bowl, or perhaps it's supposed to be a fountain, and then she has her own individual cup. Look at how wistful she looks. She just looks like, oh, I don't have a care in the world. But that's what you're headed toward. You're looking at what you can do here, what's going right and what's going wrong, and you're getting that insight and intuition that's going to help you stay in the flow. Stay in the flow of life, stay in the flow of time, your time, not anybody else's time, not anybody else's life, yours as an individual. It's going to help you stay in your lane. You're going to get that knowledge. You're going to get that steadfast, that ability to endure. And you'll notice, let me see, it went from 7 to 6, then we go from 12 to 5. Quite an interesting reading. So the ivy, this is talking again about inner knowing. It's using that inner knowing to determinedly pursue, to push, to be persistent, to grow, and to push yourself in that growing. You're doing soul searching. The clarifier for the ivy is the devil. And the devil, he's got the world serpent. And you can think of, sometimes people do think of ivy as being similar to a serpent, just because the way that it goes, the way that it spirals, the way that it can, like some snakes can move up surfaces. Okay. So the devil, it talks about over-reliance on material things, and sometimes people say it's the card of addiction, or it's the card of like obsession, or to the point of you're harming yourself with that obsession. And like I said, these people could be dead or they could be sleeping. We don't know what they're thinking of, you know, what their problem is. But this card, especially combined with the ivy and all the other cards talking about getting insight, the devil here is representing your shadow self. It might not be representing addictions, it might be, but it's definitely your shadow self. It's doing the work to integrate your shadow self into your light self, into the side of you that you show everybody else, into the you that you want people to think of. And to hammer it home, number 5, which was echoes the 5 of Cups in reverse, but we did not obviously get 5 of Cups for this. So the ash. Now the ash, this is talking about literally, quite literally, bringing light to your shadow self. It's hammering home the point of the ivy and the devil. It's hammering home everything we've been talking about. It's like It's like they can't say this enough. It's like the cards cannot just repeat over and over again and can't say this enough. You know, when I shuffle, I look for flippers in the deck, like they flip over, or cards that fall out, or sometimes they just literally, like the devil, when I was shuffling, it was like it jumped out of the deck. And I was like, because I asked for a clarifier for Ivy, and it just jumped out of the deck at me. I was like, whoa. It was like, okay, at least you're, aimed at the desk and not at me. So the ash is talking about bringing light to your shadow self, connecting all of your yous, right? So if, say, there's a you that only comes out when certain people are around, this card is talking about connecting all of those into one unified you. So it's talking about connecting the shadow self. It's talking about connecting past, present, future, but also connecting who you are when you're at work with who you are when you're with your best friend or with your child or your pet. It's talking about making that connection and how that's going to help you clear your shadow self, right? How that's going to help you move forward and have that hope and motivation again. So for clarifiers on the ash, we have the Fool and the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands, well, sometimes it's talking about, fighting yourself, because there's obviously nobody else in the picture. And all these other wands are just, stood upright or slightly leaning into the X shape. They're slightly, they're in the ground. There's nobody else there. He's practicing. He's, fighting himself. And the Fool is usually thought of, this is the new day. You're going to take the leap of faith off the mountain. You've got the sun at your back guiding you. It's a brand new start. The Fool being the 0 card, the beginning of the deck. The Fool is the key to the beginning. He's got his umbrella to protect him from the rain. He's got his supplies in his bag. He's got his loyal dog next to his side. So with the ash and the Seven of Wands, this makes me think that you're trying to incorporate the core of who you are. You're trying to do that so that you can persevere in this new start. And integrating who you are is going to help you with this new start. You might want to do like a meditation or something. Learn how to find your center. Learn how to find your soul. Your soul's center. Your higher self. Do like meditations to communicate with your higher self, that sort of thing. Or I don't want to say like grounding exercises, or like Akashic record exercises, but you could do some of those too. They wouldn't hurt. At the bottom of the deck, the Celtic Tree Oracle deck, we have Willow, birthing. We have Rowan, very spiritual. Can also, well, in this circumstance, I'm going to say also about birthing. Reed, about change, the spiraling water of life. The rock is thrown in, the water ripples outward. So you kind of get the idea. Like the cards could not hammer it home enough today for some reason. And at the bottom of the ethereal visions, we had the magician, sorry. And here again, we have a figure 8, albeit a flattened, a foreshortened figure 8, but we have the world serpent. We have the magician is in control. The magician is about manifesting. It's about having everything you need in your skill set to manifest. And you'll notice the serpent went from this brown, I don't know what you'd call it, checkered pattern. This brown checkered pattern. The sun is illuminating the back of the devil here. But here, the magician, he's turned, he's turned the serpent to gold. He's the one controlling the sun. He's the one controlling the world serpent, right? He's got the balance. He's got the wand in his hand. He's got the sword behind his hand, but it's balanced. He's got the laurel, the victory. He's got the pentacle in the one corner and the cup in the other corner. And he's got the 2 peonies, the orange and the purple, the regal and the passionate, the burning. So he's got a balance between his passionate side, his emotions, and his controlling side, his thinking side, his institution, the chaos and the law, so to speak, the order. And he's controlling them. He's working a spell here. So get integrated. And I don't mean that in a negative way. You know, work on your shadow self, work on taking a deep look at who you are at your core, at who you want to be. Don't necessarily throw out who you were in the past, but just take the good parts of the past. Take the stuff that you want to move forward with, and leave the stuff that is negative, is not helpful anymore, is bringing you down. Let that stuff go. Let it go gracefully. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.